Hey, let's get this party started. This is Patrick Allman from StopDoingNothing.com. And first of all, if you are watching this, or you can't really do this if you're listening to this on a podcast later, but if you're watching the live show on Facebook in the Empire Builders group, and I guess anybody can do this, and you were with me at the conference this past week in Dallas, I want you to comment below and let me know what you thought of the event, and in particular, which sessions you thought were the best, which main stage speakers you thought were the best. I'm kind of curious as to everyone's experience there now that we've had a chance to get back and unpack and do our laundry and kind of take a chill pill for a little bit as to which part of that conference you thought was the best experience. And if it was my breakout session, fine, so be it. But we had a lot of breakout sessions, a lot of main stage speakers, and so it was a fabulous event. And I'm already looking forward to the next one. As you know, I'm also looking forward to the winter conference in Orlando, Florida, which I myself am chairing. But I'm not going to promote that, at least not too much this podcast. We've got 6 or 7 months to promote that particular event. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about an issue that I started off with in the beginning of my breakout session there at the Influence Conference. Now, I know not all of you watching this, not only were you not all of you at the conference, all of you were also not in my breakout session, so you didn't catch this in person, but either way, it's an important topic about your marketing that I want you to remember. And whenever I talk about marketing, I start off with kind of 5 overarching rules or 5 philosophies, if you will, about my approach on marketing. When people hire us to come in or hire us or fly us in or wherever to work on their marketing campaigns to help them kind of revamp and get new focus, new vision of their marketing, I do everything under these 5 blanket rules. And one of them is a general rule, is that once you know your value, or once you know what you bring to the world, or who your target market is, once you've ironed out all those things and you've really got them on lock and you've really focused them down, everything in the world becomes a lot easier. And the reason this is important is because a lot of people in our world, in the world of marketing, or in the world of, or in the world of, authority speaking or thought leadership or things like that, it's amazing how many times people are, hey, John, thanks for tuning in, man. It's amazing how many, and I like your opinion on this too, John. It's amazing how many people who say they're professional thought leaders, or they're professional speakers, or they're bloggers or podcasters or whatever. And it's amazing how many of these people that produce content on a regular basis have trouble figuring out what to talk about. Hey, Lisa, Faye, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. They're at a loss for blog topic comments. So they don't know what to podcast about this week, or they're like, I want to go live on Facebook. I want to do this. I want to do that, but they have no idea where to start. And I think the reason for that is if you have a problem figuring out what you want to talk about, you don't know what your topic is. You don't know what your focus is yet. And sometimes people tell me their focus. They're like, oh, I'm a speaker and I just talk about this and this and this. And then I also talk about this and this and this. And if I need to, for $25 and a ticket at the buffet, I'll talk about this and this and this too. And even for a ticket just to the buffet, I'll talk about this one particular topic. I mean, they're kind of throw out this wide blanket, and I'm guilty of this. I've done this in the past, not so much anymore, but they'll throw out this wide blanket of what they talk about, hoping that something catches. They're afraid of being irrelevant. They're afraid of someone calling them, maybe a meeting planner or a Rotary Club president or whatever. They're afraid of someone calling them and them turning down an event. Imagine what happens if imagine this feeling where someone calls you and they say, hey, Patrick, I've got a $5,000 speaking gig on social media in regards to veterans with traumatic brain injuries. And let's say you're a social media speaker and you're one that doesn't have your topic on lock that much, and you're not a veteran, you don't know that much about TBI, but you see that $5,000 and you'll lose in your mind. You're like, oh, $5,000. First of all, I know that's more than most social media speakers make, but it's right here in my hometown. I can just drive down there 20 minutes away. You know what? All of a sudden, I'm going to make myself a professional on social media for veterans with TBI, and you're not a professional in that area. That requires a certain knowledge. Social media, because you know social media in general, you don't know social media in regards to a particular industry. And forget that I'm talking about social media. It could be motivation. It could be inside sales training. It could be outside sales training. It could be used car stuff. And good that you bring up Donna, John, because woman is a queen. Don't even get me started on Donna St. Louis. Woman is a queen in this particular area. And I did something this weekend that with directly with her help, or we're going to talk about. But people, sometimes we're afraid to really lock down our focus. Hey, Scott, brother, man, thank you for joining in. We are really afraid to lock down our focus because we have this fear of missing out on something. Maybe if I lock down myself too tight, I'm going to miss all these other $5,000 and $7,000 speaking gigs because I'm not broad like that. And I notice that sometimes when people are replying to RFP for speaker events also, because every now and then I'll coordinate something, and you get these RFPs from this person that says, hey, I speak on this one bizarre topic way out in left field, but I'll adapt it for your event if I need to. I'll do that old razzle dazzle. I'll do that old sing and dance if it'll get me on your stage. And I end up having to turn those people down. I know it's going to happen to me at the winter conference coming up. For those of you that I'm organizing that, the winter NSA conference, I'm already getting those, the old razzle dazzle, and they'll morph their topic into something that is kind of going in line with what we're talking about. But I'm going to encourage you, if you're the kind of person who's ever seen someone that says they need a consultant or a speaker on a certain topic, and you've tried to figure out ways to wrap your topic into their mold because it's a well-paying gig, or it's a high visibility gig, or it's a gig. I mean, if you haven't had a gig in a while, it's amazing the song and dance you'll do to get a gig. If that's you, I want you to really kind of second guess what your specialty is. So once you have that specialty, it's amazing. I'm starting to turn down stuff like that. There are times where I'm turning down paying consulting or speaking or traveling work because it's just not in my narrow focus. And you can have multiple focuses, but just go deep in each one and try not to be a broad person. And to the point where I was talking about in the beginning about this, how this affects your content production also, this will help your content production. If you're the kind of person who's all about what Russell Ruffino calls the content merry-go-round, if you're all about creating the podcasts and the blog posts and the videos and the Facebook Lives, once you've narrowed down your topic and you've locked down that focus, all that stuff becomes a lot easier. My focus in the marketing world is really helping people see the ROI in doing real marketing, not kind of the fluff marketing or not the marketing that the social media expert. And I really focus on service-based businesses. So I'm not an expert in anything retail related. I'm not an expert in anything industrial related. And to tell you the truth, I'm not an expert in anything government related. Oh, is that Queen? That Queen better get in here. Thanks, John. Get her in here. Those are areas which I'm not that good at. I'm good at when it comes to social media or marketing in general. I'm really focused on service-based businesses. Somewhat B2B, but really B2C is my focus also. How can you communicate that stuff? How can I communicate you that stuff right there? And even to this day, I don't think my focus is locked down enough. And so I know I'm going to have to pull in people, and I know I did it as recent as this weekend. Hopefully, Donna is lit, girlfriend. And let's see, what did Donna say about you? What did John say there? This very conversation with Donna St. Louis this week. It's because they are not talking about the subjects that are in their wheelhouse of expertise and talent. Bam, 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 bam. And for those of you that did watch me on the main stage at the NSA conference, that 4 minutes, which by the way felt like 15 minutes, was probably really only about 3 minutes once the timer got going. The reason that I communicated that so well is because 12 hours before, that was at 10 o'clock in the morning, 10:30 in the morning. Donna, remember when this was. I can't remember because it was all apart. Right before that, 12 hours there before, maybe 14 hours, the Queen herself, Donna St. Louis, sat down with me and with Francis Rios and basically kind of backed us into our topic. But she didn't start with what we were going to talk about on main stage. She started about, what's the message you want to communicate? What are the pain points? What would it feel like if we solved these pain points? What would your life look like? How would it make you feel? And dang it, Donna, I've got the notes someplace because I got that transcribed and we've got those written in Francis's notebooks because that night we were all taking notes like crazy. But it took someone, an expert, with the outside brilliance of someone like Don St. Louis to help Francis and I, really figure out what we were going to say. And to tell you the truth, what we said on that stage changed in the 12 to 14 or 15 hours we worked with Donna, because we weren't thinking about it. Hey, James, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. And so if you have trouble with something like that, if you have trouble, first of all, figuring out what your focus is, or if you have trouble, deciding of all these things you're really good at, because all of us are good at a great number of things. It doesn't mean we should be talking about them. Doesn't mean we should be consulting about them. I'm good at some drywall repair a little bit. I'm good at digital stuff or home studio stuff over here. I'm somewhat good at shopping for clothes, only for me, but I should not be a fashion consultant. I'll leave that to Sylvia DeGiusto. There are several things I'm good at, but I should not be talking about all those things. I should be really locking down my focus. And for those of you that are joining in live or watching the video later, if you look in the comments here, you're going to see John and Scott and Donna and Lisa, but particularly John and Donna have worked together. And you'll notice back in John's comments, what he said there is a very key thing that we seem to forget. We're afraid of locking down that focus because we're afraid we're going to miss out on some possible money or some great trips or some great connections. And the opposite is actually true. Once you learn that focus and once you got that on lock, your income and your possibilities and your revenue, same thing probably, they go up. Because you are the special person in that niche, and you may not get as many speaking gigs, but the nice part about that is you can charge more for the ones you do. And same when it comes to the consulting gigs, things like that. You're not going to be the person who's going to be traveling around all the time. You can command a higher fee, and then you can pick and choose which gigs you want to do. And you can force people to meet you at your price point because you got that particular niche on lock. And there's a really good video I push so many people to watch. The Martin, my beautiful, beautiful friend Martin. Oh, goodness gracious. So good to see you, sir. Hopefully you traveled home safe. Martin does this too. Goodness gracious. Martin, that guy walks and talks his brand. He's really good at what he does. And I fell in love with him the very first time I saw him speak at NSA 5, 6, 7 years ago. But getting back to the point I was saying is once you've got that unlocked, you can command higher fees. And there's a really good video I push to people to watch. Go on YouTube and search for, number one, Jay Abraham, and subscribe to his YouTube channel. But he has a video called The Advanced Strategy of Preeminence. And I've watched it so much. I know the time. The time of that video is 31 minutes and 20 seconds. And Jay Abraham is very good about talking to the point where when you speak about a particular topic or you're going to consult on a particular topic, that you be known as the preeminent authority. And not only are you don't want to be the kind of consultant that's like, hey, hire me for a couple of hours, I'll come in, we might do some stuff together, then I'll leave you on your own. No, once you become the preeminent authority, you are deciding to take accountability for someone's results. You are taking them personally under your wing, and you are saying, I will not let you fail. I will not let you spend cheap money. I will not let you buy cheap things, and I will not let you do anything half-ass. That's the position you want to be in, but you can only be in that position when you niche down and you lock. And let's see what the lovely Donna says right here. There's a difference between talent expertise. Talent is not transferable. It's like a superpower. X-ray vision. Goodness gracious, I hope you don't have X-ray vision, Donna. Your job is to give your customers X-ray vision glasses. So your job is to give your customers the superpower of X-ray vision. So that talent is what they're buying from you. Talent is not a commodity. I think this is what Donna's saying right here. Expertise is a commodity. You can, if you want a social media expert, that's a commodity-based service. You can swing a dead cat these days and find a social media expert. That's not a talent. A talent is, and hopefully I'm going to get this right here. We're going to interview Donna sometime live, wherever she is in the world these days. A talent is going to be the kind of person that can, doesn't really matter if it's social media or something else. They know how to either find the marketing pain points in the market or something else to the point where you're buying into someone for that particular talent, because that's something that you cannot get from everybody else. You can swing a dead cat and get a social media expert. Brother Jess, man, Good to see you virtually. Just saw you in person not too long ago. Thanks for tuning in. We're having a great talk here about expertise and preeminence and talent versus expertise. And sometime we're going to get Donna on, because I know I'm not expressing this quite properly. However, in my head, I do know that I myself sometimes, probably for the most time, don't know how to lock down enough. And I don't know how to niche enough. And I pull in an expert like Donna. And by the way, make sure you are following her all over social media. Donna, girlfriend, please feel free to put your social media links in the comments right here. Please make sure you follow her. She's got some new things going on, and you want to be a part of that. And it's just amazing how when you sit down with someone like that and they really pull your stuff out, you start questioning yourself. It's like, well, yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this. And it's just amazing. But sometimes you have got to pull in somebody else to see this, because you can't see it. This is one of those, you're too close to the trees to see the forest, or kind of thing. She's saying, thought leadership is the blend of talent and expertise. When you find that magic, you will live a life of purpose and passion. And trust me, she knows what she is talking about all over this. So my whole point was that to bring it in, to kind of wrap it around from what I talked about this weekend, is when I did my 2-hour breakout session, Sister Beth, you're there also. Sweet. The whole dang party is here. When I did my 2-hour session this weekend on the importance of video and why I push people to do video so much, the main thing I started with, my 5 points, one of the main points was, once you figure out that focus and you lock that down, it's just, everything becomes so much clearer. And I love it when I got a chance to, hey, Keith, thanks for tuning in. Beth, hopefully you're home. Hopefully you're home and you got a break. Once you get that on focus, it's kind of funny, the fact that I'm talking about focus, yet I'm talking to all my beautiful thought leader friends over here on the left here. Once you get that focus, things like this video become so much easier. Going up on the big main stage like I did was so much easier. Here's something you guys didn't realize about this main stage thing. And I heard this for the rest of the weekend. We did all that work with Donna, and we were up late. Goodness gracious, Donna. We were up and probably till 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, revamping. And then we finally got that off to the people with the teleprompter. And so we're all backstage, and I'm doing what I do. Thanks, Beth, darling. I love you. We were doing what we do. You walk backstage with your notes. You're pacing. I had my iPad right here, and I had my brilliant iPad backstage, and I'm just sitting there looking over my notes and like, okay, I took what Donna said, I summarized it into what I want to think for 4 minutes, and we're pacing, breathing, calming, do all the things you do on stage, because when you get on stage, you got to exude all that energy. And so we walk out there on stage, and all that stuff we had worked on, the stuff we transferred to the prompter, we get up there, and man, that screen, the thing down there was blank. And Donna, you said this happened to you also once when you were on main stage. You get up there and you've got all that stuff in your head, and you're like, no problem. My bullet points will be in front of me. Bam, I got this on lock. And you get up there, and that TV is blank, and you get to be paranoid for about 10 or 15 seconds. In a 4-minute stint, there's not enough time to be paranoid. There's not enough time to walk on stage. There's not enough time to yell backstage to the crew to say, hey, guys, where are my stuff? You start talking and you get to work. And I love the fact that we had a nice cutting joke up front about Latin chocolate. Dang it, you know what? I checked today, latinchocolate.com is taken, because I could have monetized that. But my good friend Frances, my friend's so good I can't even think of her name. Once she started her line, and I started breathing, and I remember my first line, it flowed. And I think the reason it flowed so well is because the night before, Donna slapped me upside the head. Sometimes she does it physically. Usually it's mentally and psychologically. Hey, Keith, thanks for chiming in. Oh, don't do Latin chocolate. Okay, fine. But the thoughts that I wanted to communicate and the thoughts that Francis wanted to communicate were so ingrained in our head from the previous night that not having the teleprompter ended up not being that much of an issue. And I'd be willing to bet money, because I'm a betting man. Do I have any money in my wallet here at all to bet? No, I've got plastic. Nope, no cash. See what happens when you travel for a while? No cash. But once not having that prompter on there, the natural thing kicked in. It's like, you know what? Donna fixed this for me. I know what I want to communicate. The exact words, I'll figure those out. I'll figure out my flow when it's my 20 seconds to speak. But the bullet points and the thoughts were in my head because I had my topic on lock, and I don't need a prompter at that point. And I'm almost thankful I didn't have that prompter in there, because we've had people say that, Patrick, first of all, I had people say, Patrick, it's one of the first times I've seen you emote. Clifton, brother, thanks for joining in. Hey, John, thanks for coming in, man. We'll catch you next time. But oh, goodness gracious, where was I going? Oh, I had my thoughts on lock, and it flowed much better, and I was able to say it in the Patrick way. I wasn't focused so much on the word. So it's a blessing in disguise that prompter thing didn't work. But Donna, sister, I'm just so thankful that you helped us on that before. And for those of you, like I said, that haven't, thank Keith, I appreciate it, that haven't done so, make sure that you follow Donna on social media. I'm so glad that John pointed her out and she piped in here, because she's every single time I sit down with her, whether it's in a 9-room condo in Orlando, Florida, or it's for 20 minutes where we have to get her audio words transcribed via rev.com right after she speaks them, so we can go over them again, which, yes, we did that Starbucks hotel at the Hotel Anatole there. But make sure you follow, hey, Kwame, thank you for joining us. Clifton, if I didn't so, thank you for joining us also. And for those of you that are coming in late, please make sure you go back and watch the beginning. First of all, I was talking about the event this weekend, which went off very well. But since then, I've been kind of ranting and raving on Donna about how when you know your topic so well, you don't need teleprompters. All your content production and what you want to say about something becomes so much easier. And something else that becomes easier is when someone asks you about your topic off the cuff in the hallway, you can talk about it instantly. As speakers, sometimes we don't get a lot of preparation time to talk about something. Beth, it's okay, Beth. You're allowed to be weird. It's you're nerdy. It's your whole brand. But you have the ability, once you know your topic and you have your topic on lock, you have the ability to have that 30-second elevator conversation about it. You have that ability to where if there's a hot prospect you happen to run into in Starbucks, like maybe the CEO of Southwest, which all of us had the ability to run into this past weekend, and someone says, we are looking for someone to fill an event, or, I've heard your name, Donna St. Louis. Can you tell me a little bit about you while you're in line paying for your Starbucks? You can once you know your topic on lock, you can speak about that, and it's such a beautiful feeling. And I'm sorry if I'm getting a little bit emotional here, but I just remember that feeling from this weekend that was created as a real to Donna. So, anyways, for those of you that are tuning in the end, please make sure you get your topics on lock. Your marketing will be so much easier. Your off the cuff will be so much easier. People will realize that you are the expert in your area. You may do fewer gigs or you may do more gigs, but either way, you'll be, there we go. But you may do fewer speaking gigs, but you do the right speaking gigs, and you won't do the wrong ones, and you won't look like a fool trying to stumble into some area that you don't know about very well, because that sucks. Looking like a fool when you're in the wrong area just really sucks. And I've had some speaking gigs like that where I probably shouldn't have been the person on stage. I fortunately solved that. Like I mentioned earlier, I've turned down the things, I'm starting to turn down the things that I'm not that good at. And the more I have a chance to work with experts like Donna right there, the more I'm going to get my topic on lock, the more I'm going to be doing a good job at it, and the better professional I'll be. And I can bump up my speaking fees so I can be drinking that champagne with the wild lady in the sky. Brother Patrick, man, good to see you here. We were just talking, Patrick, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on this about how when you know your topic, and Patrick is another one right there who has his topic on lock. He has a particular audience he speaks to. He doesn't try to stray outside of that much, if at all. And the man is in demand as a result right there. And like I also mentioned earlier, that's something a lot of us are afraid to do, where we like being generalists. We like, when it comes time for speaking or consulting stuff, we like casting that wide net all over everything, because we're afraid we're going to miss the money. We're afraid we're going to miss the gig. We're afraid we're going to miss that $1,000 plus the buffet ticket gig. Trust me, all of us can stand to miss some more of those $1,000 plus buffet gigs. That is not where you want to be eating, literally or figuratively. You want to be, you worry about your own meal, just pay me the fee for my particular expertise. That's where you want to be, and that's something else I've learned from Donna also. So do any of you, the rest of you, Beth, I'd like to hear from you, or Patrick, the other Patrick, either one. Did you ever used to be a generalist? Did you ever kind of cast a wide net, whereas every time where you weren't on brand, where you didn't really kind of have an expertise and you would have taken anything? here's $50 and, knock yourself out of the buffet, but only one trip to the buffet. You don't get to do 2 or 3 trips to the buffet. You only get to do 1 trip to the buffet. I'm just kind of curious if that ever happened for you guys right there. And same with you, Keith. Let's see what else do we have here. Keith, Kwame, Beth, Donna. Let's see. I think Jess, if you're still here, I'm going to be kind of curious. Ryan, thanks for joining in. For any of you that had any comments about this, or if that was a life that you lived in, that generalist lifestyle in the past, I'm kind of curious about that. And for those of you up and coming speakers, this is something I would tell you, those new NSA members, the ones with the VIP stickers on their thing, this is something I would tell you, is that don't get kind of glossy-eyed by the people you see on stage doing motivation or inspiration or math. I believe Brian Walter did something with math, wasn't it? With the numbers adding up, or somebody else who talks about, a particular story. If that's not your story, if that's not on brand for you, don't get glossy-eyed over that kind of stuff. It's amazing how many people will go into will watch a speaker of any kind, NSA otherwise. How many people will watch a speaker on stage and go, oh my gosh, I want to be that person. That person's inspirational. Oh my gosh, that person's so motivational. I want to do that. Next speaker comes along next month at an event or something like that, and they see that, and they want to be a speaker. It's like, oh no, forget that person I saw last month. I want to be this person this month. I want to be this person who's a social media expert and a speaker, because they said that's how they made their millions in business right there. And as a new speaker, it's very possible. What? You did what? I did a talk on RAM1 spectroscopy. I don't even know what that is. I'm not even sure if that first thing is a word right there, Donna. RAMWN. Innovation, women in biz, those are areas you could skirt, no pun intended, very easily. But this other one, right, maybe ramen spectrography. Then I started eating my own dog food and built my biz to dollar bills, y'all. Now I show up. I got that right. $6 bills, y'all. So Donna's built it up to now $6 signs right there. And pretty soon it's going to be $8 signs, if I'm not mistaken. Still a speaker, but business owner too. Okay, I've ranted enough. I appreciate those of you tuning in. Again, just really lock down, focus on that topic, and everything becomes easier. Facebook Lives become easier. Blog posts become easier. Stuff on your YouTube channel becomes easier. You get more subscribers. Dollar bill, y'all. Beth, Patrick Maurer, everybody else, thank you very much for tuning in. Shout out to Sydney and Jessica. Patrick, if you know where they are, if they're in the house someplace. You have your shipping lady there, Beth? Your shipping lady? Hi, shipping lady. I did not know my eyebrows were expressive. I'm just glad I don't have a unibrow. I'm glad there's a little bit of a break right there. Some people have unibrows. You know who you are right there. We don't do the unibrow thing here in my Facebook group. As always, like I pointed out earlier, if you haven't done so yet, hey, Keith, thank you very much, man. Hopefully we'll bring enough value, and we will see you there in February. If you haven't done so yet, please go back. And everyone that's been commenting here in the Facebook Live, every single one of these people are brilliant at what they do. So go follow Jess Tossfield, Donna. Oh, yeah, really, Donna, you don't do 6. You do 8. You do 8 of those things. South Florida, got it. Her name is Thursday? Thursday? Is it Thursday and you just abbreviated it? No, I'm just kidding. Go back in the thread here and follow these people on Facebook. Donna St. Louis, who we talked about quite a bit, Beth Z, Jess Tossfield, Patrick Maurer, Keith Harmeyer. Please follow these people also, because I know these are some pretty smart people also, and get that topic on lock. And I'd love your comments and your feedback about this particular Facebook Live and any of the other ones. And as usual, please make sure you go subscribe. This will be turned into a podcast. Go subscribe to the podcast, the Stop Doing Nothing podcast. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel for Patrick Allman. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. You know the drill if you want to be kept up to date with these things. And we just take the Facebook video, turn that into a YouTube video, and we also turn that into a podcast over there. So like, follow. Do me a favor if you get a chance. Also, go over the Stop Doing Nothing podcast and review it and put some stars on it. I'm really trying to get up the rankings there on the iTunes stuff. So go over to iTunes, subscribe, drop a review on it right there. A real review. I'm not begging for 5 stars. I'm just begging for reviews in general to make sure we get those up, so I know what I'm doing good at, where I'm doing good, where I'm doing bad, and where I can definitely improve. And as always, comment here or DM me if there's a particular topic you want me to cover. As long as it's within my wheelhouse, I'll cover it. If it's not within my wheelhouse, what we'll do is we'll find an expert we'll find an expert who knows on that. I have no problem saying I'm not the expert on something, but I know thousands of people who are experts, and we will try to find one of those. And we'll use the Be Live software, and we'll film them side by side. As a matter of fact, Donna, we're going to get you on an interview pretty soon also, so people can see the brilliant hair color you have up there. Because your hair and the wild hair you have up here, the little thing over here that looks like it moves, it's springy, but it's not. It's all red. People need to see that because it makes up for my chrome dome right here. It really does. So we'll get Donna on a side-by-side interview as soon as possible. All of you, as we go into the weekend here, this July 20th, thank you very much for watching and participating. I'm glad my eyebrows can entertain you. I love all of you. And until the next Facebook Live, the next podcast, we will see you then. Don't forget, stop doing nothing. It's the way you should live.